And I never looked at it like that, and I can guarantee Chipmunk never. We just got to such a level that UK rappers never got to before.
Spent my peas on gums and trainers, disco ravers, bad behaviors, Sunday mornings, what a nightmare. Yeah, I'm active. Girl,
What is happening, people? Welcome back to your favorite chat show ever, aka the best digital chat show on the entire planet.
Perfect.
On this week's episode, I am joined by no other than the genius behind iconic tunes such as Stay With Me, Tiny Dancer, and I Got Soul. It is no other than DJ Ironik, and he is in the building!
Yes, my bro. What are you saying? I'll clap for myself.
I know, that big up there was...
Yeah, that intro was legendary, bro. I appreciate
Thank you,
that,
man. I've been sitting here rehearsing it, so
yeah.
I'm glad we got that crystal.
First off, thanks for having me, bro. I appreciate it. I checked out some of your previous interviews, and it's looking good, man. It's looking like you got some good stuff in the future, man. So I appreciate you having me on early, bro. Trust me.
It's nice to be noticed, and more than anything, it's nice that you've taken the time to come on and guests like legends like you are what's gonna put the bricks in and build what I'm trying to build. So, but beyond any of that, I'm an Ironic fanboy from like 13. I mean, we were just saying before, and like, so this is crazy for me. This is absolutely nuts. But wow, what's going on with you anyway? Like, how's life?
All good, man. All good. I obviously just been in lockdown, just trying to adjust to where life's going now, man. And the main thing for me at the start of this lockdown was just to try and stay creative. So just as much as I can, whether it's making music or I just started a sunglasses range called Icon by Ironik, and just little things like that, just to try and keep me sane through this time, bro, man. Just, what I'm saying, keep me sane and safe. So that's been the main thing.
That's all you can do right now as well. I mean, obviously with lockdown being so, I mean, we've all got used to it. Like, it's become life now. So it's not like a new thing. It's not a brand new issue. We're used to it. And like, making up new things and coming up with new ways and being creative more than anything gets you through it.
I was saying to my fiance the other day, I was like, this is like, it feels like normal now. Just being in the house is just a normal thing now. It will probably be weird when we come out of lockdown, if I'm honest, because I'm so used to doing everything from here now. Like I said, I've just started the sunglasses, so everything is in the office. Like, all my packaging is done from here. I started a YouTube channel doing reactions now for other artists, so that's all from home. Like, I don't even need to leave my house to be creative anymore. So
you get so used to interacting over Zoom and over, like you do the YouTube thing similar to me, and it's like there isn't actually a need for it. I mean, you could be an antisocial person if you want, but like if we're talking necessity and if we're talking monetizing, you don't have to go out anymore. But I feel like
the main thing is if you're gonna stay at home, try and figure out ways to kind of keep a schedule and keep a routine, if you know what I mean. That's a major key, I think. So
be productive. Like, don't be a dosser. Be a dosser. Be a smart dosser. Be a smart, productive dosser. But
facts.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. I mean, taking it right back, I've mentioned it before. I mean, you are a legend, and it's like,
thank you, bro.
When I was growing up and I must have been like, as I said, 13, 14, going to like my under 18 nightclubs, like legal raves and whatever. It was like, it was very PG, but back then going out, Primark sunglasses, Red Bulls, Red Bull, that was a luxury. I'm not even going to say Red Bull because it was unbranded. So let's keep it calm. But going out, and then as soon as you hear Tiny Dancer come on, you literally you didn't want to let go, and it was just it's built up with me.
It was a moment, innit? It was a moment in time that you'll always remember. And a lot of people say that to me. I'm not sure what it was about that time, but when I walk down the street or when I speak to people, I get the same reaction. To me, I'm just still the same person that just loves making music, bro, if I'm honest, and just made them songs just because it was that time and had fun doing it. But I think to some people, that time and moment in time was so important. Just that feeling of like, I don't know, like how you just explained it, going out with your friends, under 18s, no worries in the world, hearing Tiny Dancer come on for the first time, or I don't know what it was, maybe even hearing a rapper with a singer kind of, you know what I'm saying, having that kind of, I don't know to explain it, like it weren't as cheesy when it's got a rapper on it, so you just felt like you're just the man in the club. I don't know, bro, but a lot of
No,
people
but it's
say
true.
that to me.
And I feel like the reason it was such a hit is because like you kind of push boundaries. So you're mixing someone as legendary and as big, and like that tune, Tiny Dancer, is like, you know, it's astronomical. You're merging two genres and you're giving like the youth and you're meeting that with like the OG, and you're creating something special. And obviously it's lived and it's still going on.
Yeah, and I'm super grateful, like you said, even for yourself to want to still talk to me with like from when you was 13, that was years ago, bro, to for people to still want to talk to me and kind of show appreciation. I always appreciate that. And even making Tiny Dancer at the time, if I'm being honest, when my label approached me with it, I weren't sure that it was gonna do what it did.
No,
I swear, bro. But the thing is, remember, I came from like a grime underground scene, so they picked me up when I was, you know, fresh from listening to grime, growing up on Dizzy Rascal and Wiley.
Of course.
So for me, like when they came with the Elton John sample, of course I knew who Elton John was, but I wasn't too familiar with, you know, some of his classics and his hits, and my audience was so far away from that. So I was a bit like, I'm not sure if this is gonna work with my audience, but we'll go for it. And then I said to my A&R, like after we made the record, I think we need to put one more person on this that can fit it, like who's from the streets, he's a bit more underground, but he's really popping right now. So I said, let's get my friend from North London, his name is Chipmunk, on it. And that kind of just added a tiny bit more sprinkle of kind of underground grime grittiness to it. And then I was happy with it. And then, you know, it done what it did. So thank the Lord, it's still doing numbers, man. I appreciate it.
It is. And every day as well. I mean, it's funny because I feel like certainly with people my age, I don't know if this is like, obviously for you, it's an amazing thing, but for like the status of Elton John, I don't know, but like if you say Tiny Dancer, I guarantee I'm gonna say like 80% of people will know your version more than the Elton John version. And like, but you know what I mean? That speaks so much about the tune and your vision. And again, like adding Chip on it was sick. I mean, it's very clever move.
Level. They took it to that next level, man. So big up Chip and big up Elton John as well, because he even says that. He said that you know, the version that we done is probably his biggest selling digital song of all time. So online, it's just done numbers streaming wise and things like that. So sick,
there you go. It was meant to happen. So like,
trust me.
How did that link up even come about? Because I mean, I want to go into like, you know, your growing up and your personal life and how you got into music in a minute, but specifically looking at Tiny Dancer, how did the whole idea about jumping on an Elton John track and making it like this pop version and this something to like reach out to the youth, how did that come about?
Well, to be fair, I got to big up my label at the time, Warner Records, and my A&R at the time, because that's probably the only time when I've let an A&R kind of guide the way with a single. And you know, we was off the back of Stay With Me. And I think we put out Wanna Be Your Man, which was top 40. We needed like another Stay With Me and smash. And my A&R was racking his brain, and he was like, I think you're known for the samples, he said. So let's find a classic sample that will work, especially in the UK, that people love. They love Elton John in the UK. So let's do it. And he found the right sample. We got in the studio. And like I said, man, the vision wasn't really there for me at the start, just because of the fan base being so far away from like Elton John's fan base. But you know, like, and I was still young, so I weren't really in that experimental stage. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you've got like a neat, you know, you've got an audience, and you know you do well with them. So gambling necessarily may have not been the best move, but.
And I'm at a point right at that time where I'm like, I need another hit, because I don't want to be a one-hit wonder guy who just like Stay With Me. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I need to find a hit. So this next record is so important. But my A&R, you know, he's got an amazing ear. So he was like, trust me on this one. It will work. The only thing I wanted was that sprinkle of kind of still where I come from, you know what I'm saying? And adding Chip for me just added that extra kind of thing. And then we done remixes. We got like a house remix, bassline remixes done. And the rest was history, man. I remember just driving around England, like from show to show, hearing it on the radio non-stop on Radio 1. And for me, that feeling was crazy, bro. It was mad.
So how old were you when you first made that tune? When you first made Tiny Dancer?
Tiny Dancer, I was probably about 21 years old, yeah. Chip was even younger. He was like 17, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought he was around 18, but yeah, that is absolutely nuts. I mean, it was back in the days when we had like Walkmans. That's how I think
the Sony Ericsson
when we were on
phones.
Walkmans, and this is how old it is as well. Like Channel AKA.
There was Channel U then as well. Channel U.
Yeah.
Or
And it's
Flavor.
nuts.
Flavor
Flavor.
TV.
And I remember you were texting in like, I need this, I need that. And it was always your tiny dancer. And back in the days, man. And it's incredible. But
it's got that nostalgia feeling in it that time. Like I say, I'm not quite sure what it was about that time, because it's not even just me, you know. I got to big up some of the other artists around that time, obviously N-Dubs and Tinchy Strider and all of them that was banging out the hits at that time. I'm like, a lot of people say to me that time is my favorite time of UK music.
Obviously, I was a bit younger, so I wasn't really in like the adult frame of mind to kind of depict what was better and what was worse. But I've got to say, man, that point of music was sick. I mean, you had Skeppy jumping on N-Dubs tunes, you know, you had like, you wouldn't see it. Of course you wouldn't see it now. Like Tinchy Strider popping, there was you. I mean, and we're going back to when Ice Kid was like a big name as well. And it's like, you know, like OG stuff. And I mean, the way that music has really transformed now is crazy. But I do think, you know, when we were talking about, I mean, we're talking about Street Nation album, that kind of era. That's when it was like different gravy kind of thing. But how do you see, like, back then, you know, social media and being on a platform for everyone to see? It wasn't really, you know, it wasn't as big. It didn't really exist. So like, it's come through both sides. You've been on both spectrums. Like, how do you view the role of social media in music?
Yeah, do you know what's weird? Like, it's weird because when I first came out, it was social media, but it wasn't like today. Like every app is so like popular. But we had obviously MySpace. I would say was the first thing that I kind of started using, MySpace and Bebo. I don't know if you remember them. You might be a bit young for that. MySpace. So that was like my first taste of like social media and like people having access to you, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember I'd be on MySpace and message like hundreds of like Radio 1 DJs saying check out my music, but that was like, you know, where you could put a face to the name and you could actually see the artists you're listening to, see the DJs you listen to. So that was kind of my taste of it. So if I'm honest, when I first came out, I kind of, you know, I had my experience of like the Instagrams and the Twitters now from then, if I'm honest, and then going on to like MSN where people would just send each other songs all the time. You know, I think it played a huge part in my career, if I'm honest, like starting out MySpace and all those things. And then kind of Twitter was probably the next one, and YouTube, Twitter and YouTube, where things just started going crazy, bro. And then now onto Instagram. It's a lot, bro. It's a lot to keep up with all the different apps that there are, to be fair, all the social media.
Yeah, okay. YouTube, you got to be good on that. But then if you want audio links, put it on Spotify and Apple Music. But then also, if you want to do live streaming, jump on Twitch. But then also, now TikTok's bigger than ever. And don't forget your Facebook. It's like there is so much. And it's hard to keep up with. So like...
To keep up, especially if it's just you by yourself running it all, it's a lot, bro. You need help out there, man. So
it is. And it is literally me, myself and I trying to take over the world. One episode at a time. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Thank you, man. But it's like, do you think now artists have it harder?
It's a catch-22, if I'm honest. It could be looked at as harder because there's so much other artists coming out, bro. Like we just mentioned 5 names that came out when I was out, and that was all there were really. But now there's hundreds of artists. There's new artists every day that I'm coming across, bro. So I think it's a bit more difficult to kind of get your own way and find your own lane. But at the same time, there's so many opportunities out there. Like if you're on Instagram, like I say, you can just message Drake and say, yo, hit me up, check out my music. You know what I'm saying? Like how accessible you can be with an artist. It's like you're basically friends with every other artist there is out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I think there's also at the same time, like recently, there's not really many superstars, I'd say, for the UK. Like when I came out, there was like a mysteriousness about us. Like when people saw us out, it was like, wow, there's Chipmunk or there's Tinchy Strider. Oh my God. But now it's like we're friends with Stormzy, or you know what I'm saying? Like we know them. We see everything they do online. We know everything about them. So it's a bit more. I think it's a catch-22, man. I think you got so much more access now and so much opportunities, but at the same time, it's whether you're the lucky one to get picked. Do you know what I mean?
And it is hard to stand out. It's like we all have the same tools now. So yeah, on paper, there are way more, ways to get about it. But everyone's got the same tools. Everyone's given the same head start. So what are you doing different? I got Instagram. He's got Instagram. I'm talking to you. He's talking to you. It's about your personality.
What are you doing? What are you doing? That's unique. And even if I'm honest, bro, when I checked out your stuff, that's kind of what made me want to do this interview, because it was different to every other interview that people asked me to do, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was unique. So I appreciate you having me on, man. Trust me.
That means so much. Like 14-year-old, 13-year-old Charlie said, like, nah, you cannot be serious. Nah, serious. Thanks for that, man. It is crazy. But going back to, so what year was it when you first started getting into music? Because I've done a little bit of research, and I know you started producing at like a silly age, like 13, 12. 15,
Yeah.
Signed at 20.
It started early. It started early for me, bro. First of all, I started out as a DJ. That was my first love. Fell in love with kind of garage music, the garage era. That's what my mum and dad grew up on, you know what I'm saying? So I just remember my mum blaring garage music every weekend, or jungle music or drum and bass kind of. And that was the first time I kind of fell in love with music and felt like, yeah, this is sick. Like the rave scene, I think that's what gassed me up. And then
and I'm fuming. I missed out on that. I can't believe I missed out on that, man. Because people my age, my generation, try to recreate that, and it's like, it's sick, but like the authenticity, it's not there.
Isn't there?
You know?
Yeah. But I appreciate your generation as well, like remaking some of the new garage that's coming out. I appreciate the vibes that they bring. But you're right, some of the authenticity isn't 100% there. But music comes back around, so you never know what's gonna happen, bro. The rave scene might be popping once we come out of lockdown again.
June 21st, you'll catch me there, just absolutely having a mazza. I can't wait.
Yeah, man. So that's what made me fall in love, if I'm honest. And then my uncle, I found out my uncle was a promoter, big time promoter, when I was like 12, 13. And he used to do a club night called Twice as Nice, which was massive in the garage time. And he put on Soul Solicary's first tour for them, doing 21 Seconds tour and things like that. So immediately I had these opportunities right in front of me. So I said to my dad, like, at 13, could you get me some decks? You know what I'm saying? I just want to be a DJ. He did, man. He got me the decks, and from there the rest was history. I fell in love with music from that day. I fell in love with DJing, and then just loved it, man. I started DJing from the age of 14 in clubs, like standing on a crate, like some small DJ in the club, bro. Like, and then
so wait, you were DJing at 14 in clubs?
Yeah, in the clubs that like, and I'm small now, so imagine how tiny I was then.
You were tiny. Looking. You could say you were a tiny dancer back then.
For real, bro. And then like people were just like finding out about my name around town. Like people were like, oh, who's this young DJ? I remember there was one other young DJ as well. We was kind of like in a battle, not in a battle, but it was like, who's gonna be the one to go, like, to be the biggest DJ? And but his name was Little Charlie. Big up Little Charlie. And then that was the start of it, really. And then when I got to 15, I had a bicycle accident down my road, and so I was stuck at home. Didn't go to school for about a month, 2 months. It was quite a bad accident. And my mum got me this magazine. It was like a music magazine, but at the front of it, I had like a CD disc for PlayStation, but you can make music on it. It was called Music 2000. And that's where I fell in love with producing music. Just the simple way of creating music on that. But from there, I just started producing, and then from there, man, producing around my area, North London, people started hearing about my production, and then being introduced to Chipmunk and Black the Ripper when they were young, Lethal B, Wiley.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Black the Ripper as well. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Black the Ripper. And that's where it all started, man. From there, I was originally just a guy in the background, you know what I'm saying? Like, Chipmunk would come to my house when he was 15, and I would just produce records for him. He would just record in my bedroom, bro, and that's how it was until I got to about 17, 18, and I was like, you know what, I wanna do what they're doing. I wanna be at the front and start rapping as well.
Yeah.
And I think it was like Tiny Temper, he put out Wifey Rhythm, and that kind of sparked a
Oh,
thing. Yeah.
OG tune again. I mean, just having this conversation is bringing back so many adolescent memories of like, and I'm in Kent as well. So like, I'm just kind of living off of that. You know, I wasn't even involved. I was just living off of the success of all of that shit. But
so obviously we was just producing, and then made my first song, which was I done a remix of Wifey Rhythm, and then the second song I done after that was So Nice. And after I made that song, So Nice, my family and that was like, because my mum was my manager at the time, she was like, yo, we need to send this to Channel U at the time, and try to get it on there. You know what I'm saying? And this was the first time I've ever even heard of that, like being on TV and music videos. Like I thought that was foreign to me. Like seeing Channel U and MTV, I was like, how could I be on TV? That's crazy. But we sent it to them, they accepted it, and I think that one went to #1 for like 18 weeks on Channel U. So the start was there, man.
That is incredible. What a start as well. And then when you talk about sending it to Channel U, is that literally you'd email people or you'd physically have to go to Channel U studios? Yeah. How does that work?
So that on the website they used to have an address where you send the CD into with the full video on. So you could either do that, mail it to them, or you actually go down there and meet them. I think after we mailed it to them and the song was doing well on Channel U, they called me down and said, let's have a meeting. There's some potential here with what you're doing. The girls are going crazy. People are requesting it non-stop. So they was like, yeah, there's something here. You and N-Dubs are like one of the most requested on it. So yeah, man.
And then the journey is just, you know, like you said, the rest is history. The rest
was history, man. Like from there, we started creating more music. Obviously, Stay With Me came next, and then we put that out on Channel U. And then that done the same thing, man. I done my own video for that for like £100, I think. Sent it to Channel U, and that was like that was like #1 again for like 18 weeks. But then on the 18th week, I remember we got a phone call at my mum's house, and someone said, yo, this is so and so from Warner Records. We really want to have a meeting with you guys this week. And from there, I was like, this is mad, because this has gone to a whole different place that I didn't even expect it to go to. And even like I told you, from my journey from 13, it started out just me seeing the rave scene and wanting to be a DJ, to then go and have a call from Warner Records. It was like, it's just gone mad from there, bro.
Yeah, and that just shows you like there's no limit to anything. You know, sky's the limit. And if you want it, go for it. Because like you say, 14-year-old sitting, like, you know, working in a club, being a DJ at a club, standing on a crate, to being signed to Warner Records, to being DJ Ironik, and of course on Doing Bits TV. You know, it's mad.
No, but you're right, bro. You're right. Like, and when I look back on that, that always makes me remember, like, you can't stop. Like, you can get to anywhere you want to get to. There's no limit, like you said, bro. Like, literally, you can do anything you want.
And do you think that almost conditioned you to always want to do more? Because you've come from 100. Literally just, you know, you're like you said, you learned to do music on like a PlayStation, and then you're on a crate, and all of these, like, it kind of, I don't want to say accidental, but it was like silly little things that got you opportunities have carried on going. So it's like, when you've hit Warner Records, did you think that like you'd be doing an Elton John tune with Chip and it just completely changed the entire game? Because I think it did, you know, and I see that as a fan.
No, you're 100% right, bro. You hit it on the nail on the head there. Like, you couldn't see it coming from a mile away, bro. It is kind of accidental, because I was literally just going with the flow and doing what I love, trying that out, doing that, and then making a song for girls, and then sending it to Channel U, and then it just going mad. Like, honestly, like, I'm blessed, bro. Like, to see all that happen is just mad, bro. And then, like, you are right as well, because then I'm like, what can I do next? I'm like, what can I try next? And up until now, I'm still doing that, bro. Like,
of course, like I know you dropped like you had the No I Care freestyle, and you had the Calling My Phone remix was like what 2 days ago or something like that.
2 days ago, yeah.
2 days ago, yeah. And it's sick. I mean, even though like you've got older, you've still got the raw talent. And I think that appeals to a lot of your core fans.
No, and you know what it is? You know, one thing that helped me keep going as well, just I guess because I'm a DJ, I'm in the club still, I'm still active. I listen to current music, I listen to all the new generation. So that's been able to make me still, know how to perfect my craft and do what I do. So yeah, man.
Was there a lot of stigma when you kind of started dwelling more into the pop side of things because you've come from such an authentic OG grime background?
It's weird, it's a good question, bro. It's a weird one with me and that time, because at the time I remember a lot of people in grime were embracing it. A lot of people in grime were even trying to do what we were doing, I hate naming names, but I heard certain songs from Kano where he was trying to cross over, and Skepta, and all these artists. But I think now looking back, a lot of people try and give it a bit of stigma. They call it the pop era, or the era when we were trying to please other people. And honestly, bro, like I don't look at it like that. And like you said, like you loved that time of music, you know what I'm saying? And I never looked at it like that. And I can guarantee Chipmunk never, when he made Oopsie Daisy, we were just making songs that were true to us and that we loved. Like, you know what I'm saying? I made Stay With Me in my bedroom. I recorded all them songs in my bedroom. It wasn't no corporation behind me saying, make this song, do this for the pop charts. It wasn't that, we just got to such a level that UK rappers never got to before, that people look at it as in pop, which is just popular music. We was just doing what we love, man, which was make music. But I know that when I first came out, obviously it was total left field, because like you said, grime was thriving at that time, and a lot of people were talking about guns and shanks and all that time at that time. And I just came out saying I love this girl, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, stay with me. Stay with me. I've got soul. I'm a tiny dancer. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah. But that's what music's about. It can't just be one straight thing all the time. And you need people with emotions and feelings. You need the Drakes of this time. You need the Kanye Wests. You need also the gangster rappers and you know what I'm saying? You need that balance. That's what life's about, a reality, right? And I come from I'm a loving background. I come from a loving background, bro. I'm not one from the streets like that. So for me, I was just living my truth. I loved girls. I was talking about girls a lot of the time, and that was that. So it worked.
Every time, as soon as you hear that, ironic, the song is going to be about females. 100%. Like it is always like that. But
it's an emotional one.
But you're right. Versatility is so important. I mean, even you say, like, even looking at the gangster kind of rappers or the R&B singers. I mean, rest in peace, but let's take Pop Smoke, for instance. Not a UK artist, a very big American artist, but influences from drill. And then he kind of lashes out and he does more R&B rhythms and he does the emotional stuff. But I don't think anyone would say Pop Smoke is like a lovey-dovey artist. He's not. No, and it's
I think especially now as well, it's changed a lot, isn't it? But that wouldn't have happened if like someone like myself didn't open the doors for people to let out their emotions. You know what I'm saying? Where people now can make songs about women or about their emotions, or if it weren't for the Kanye West or the Drakes at that time, getting emotional in songs. So yeah, man.
I guess to an extent, like you've almost laid down the foundations for that to happen, because like you said, grime is usually, it's a genre which is kind of it's kind of aggressive. I mean, just the way the music is, it's a fast-paced movement. And, even if you're talking about loving a girl, that doesn't really come across because it's not really the nature of the genre. So you laid down those foundations, and it's helped artists and the scene kind of be more acceptant of that anyway. But do you think that whole attitude between men being able to rap about feelings or to talk about women, do you think that's just kind of been accepted because society's now like, men, talk about your feelings. Oh, it's okay to love this girl. And
it could be. Obviously, times have changed so much now, whereas you can literally talk about anything. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and I think there's nothing wrong with that, man. Like men should be able to let their feelings out. Honestly, like when I write music, it's like a therapy session for me, because I'm letting out what I usually wouldn't talk about. To be fair, I'm quite a shy and chilled dude. Like in person, I'm just relaxed, but I don't really let out my feelings a lot. So when I go in the studio, or when I'm in my home studio and I'm just writing, that's literally me letting out how I feel at that time.
It is very, very important. But yeah, as I say, like with everything, you know, the stigma with men's mental health and mental health in general, it's nice to see music's very, very accepting of that. But you've hit, I know I keep jumping back and forth, but let's go back. Ironik at 20 years old. You've just signed a deal with, was it Asylum Records, which was like
Asylum.
That was like an umbrella of Warner Music.
Yeah.
So
they were the
deal.
sub label of Atlantic Records at the time.
Yeah. So this isn't Sunday League. This is Premier League, 3:00 Saturday, Chelsea, Arsenal levels, like Champions League. Let's say Champions League, Liverpool 2006. This is mental.
It was mad. It was big. It was big time. Yeah.
And then obviously from that, you're a star. You know, were you calling yourself DJ Ironik then, or was it?
When I got signed, they kind of wanted me to let go of the DJ. If I'm honest, they wanted it just to be Ironik. At the time, remember, we didn't have DJ Khaled's at that time. We didn't have Calvin Harris, where you could be one of like both. You know what I mean?
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So they wanted me to stick to the Ironik, be this rap superstar. That was their aim from the start. So.
And then from that, obviously, you went on tours. What was tour life like back then?
Boy, at 20. So let me start at the start of being 20 and getting signed. Yeah, that was, for me, that was a jump in life, because I'm 20 years old and I'm a bedroom kid, really. Like I said, I made stay with me in my bedroom. And now I walk out my house and people are going crazy. You know, I can't go to a shopping mall. I'm walking into this big record corporation, you know, they're sitting me down in big meetings. They're saying, we want to make you a superstar. We want you to walk down the street and paparazzi go crazy. Everyone go mad. This is the first thing we've never seen anything like this in the UK from a rapper. So they said, the first video, we need you bright red jacket. We need you looking like a star. Do you know what I'm saying? And they made it happen, man. Everything they done came true. Like they pumped all the money into it and made it happen. So big up them. And then from there, they put me on the first tour with Cascada. It's quite a random tour, but it worked, you know what I'm saying? And it was my first tour, and it was a sick experience, bro. Just to see the reception of making my music in the bedroom to now seeing the feedback from the crowd everywhere I go. Like for me, this was my first time. Like I said, I DJ'd in the clubs and stuff, but the first time having your songs be sang back to you is mad feeling, mad feeling. And we was going from, you know, Newcastle to Cardiff to Scotland, Edinburgh, like everywhere. And that was probably my favorite tour, if I'm honest. My first tour, probably my favorite tour. Me and my best friend Jerome, just on the roads, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, the wild nights, you get out there, the after party. Just being out there, I think it really just made me, I guess, grow up a bit, like instantly, because I'm having to meet people, like meet fans and talk to them. And remember, I'm a shy kid at this point, so but I'm having to be out there and, you know, learn how to perform on stage and interact with the crowd, and, you know, learn little bits of the song what they're gonna sing back to me and things like that. So it was an amazing experience, bro. It was mad. It was sick.
You know, making music, you might have a song that does really, really well, but then if you can't perform that live, the fan base might deteriorate slightly. So
it's hard.
What was that jump like?
It was hard, bro. If I'm honest, when I first got signed, I had to have training for everything. I'm gonna be honest. I had to have media training because like I said, I was so shy, bro. And like, I just loved music. That was all I loved to do and make it in my own world. I didn't expect the world to gravitate to it. And then me having to do interviews and me having to meet people and perform on this big stage. So it was all new to me. You know, I had to go to rehearsals every week before the tour and things like that and just practice. But even the rehearsals doesn't give you an experience for what it's like once you step out on that stage. You know what I'm saying? People just screaming as soon as and it was even more mad for me, bro, because it was like girls in it. It was just girls, young girls just going mad, like crying and stuff.
What do you even do in that situation? Like, so do you like it or not? Like, is it, you know,
yeah,
what I'm
like,
saying?
are you all right? I'm like, you all right? It was mad. It was eye-opening, but it was fascinating. Like, I'll meet people with tattoos or my lyrics on them.
No. What was the okay, that because that's something that I don't hear a lot, you know, like I see that stuff on social media, you know, like I've seen girls have like Drake tattooed on their forehead, and you know, and you're like,
weird.
That's kind of, you need to restraining order, you know, don't come near me. But so what kind of tattoos did you see? Lyrics, or was there photos of you, or?
No, I've never seen a photo.
Not yet.
Nah, not yet.
All right, are you ready? Here we go. I've had it since 13. But no.
Nah, no face. I've seen my name, or not my name, but like my autograph tattooed on people. I've seen that a couple times. I got a few pictures on my phone. And then
whereabouts was it on them?
I think, do you know what? I think a lot of them are arms.
Are we talking
arms?
Like
we're
lower,
talking like upper.
All right, okay. That's not as like
Nah. So I've seen that, and then I've seen a lot of it was lyrics, like "Stay With Me" lyrics. I think a lot of people like resonated with that song. It touched a lot of people.
I respect that though, and I guess even if you're being impartial and not biased, the nature of that song is it's a beautiful song, you know, and it's really poetic. So it does touch a lot of them. I mean, I'm watching it back yesterday, you know, just to see it, and I'm like, bloody hell, mate, it's getting
emotional,
emotional one, mate. But
it's facts, and I know people that have like said to me, "Yo, this like my friend passed away, and this was the song at their funeral and things like that." So that, I think songs like that have really touched people. So I see a lot of the lyrics tattooed on a lot of people, man. If I'm honest, and when I see that, that's just genuine love, and I understand the words might mean something to someone a bit deeper. So that's sick. But seeing all that for the first time, bro, just blew my mind. I'm being honest with you, like just the girls going crazy and crying and all that was just crazy for me. So at the start, it was an experience, but then it's always been my favorite part, if I'm honest. And that's which is why I've like carried on DJing still in the clubs, like up and down the country when I can do tours, mini tours here and there. But it's always been my favorite part, man. You know, some of my favorite cities: Newcastle, Manchester, obviously Kent. Big up the Kent crew.
I was waiting on that. Yeah, me and everyone who's watching this are waiting on that. Have you actually ever been to Kent?
Yeah. Is where's
Amadeus?
Wait, it's Amadeus in Rochester. Yeah, Amadeus. I remember.
This is what I was. That was the club I was talking to you about when I said I was like 13, 14. Yeah.
You know bro, I can't lie. Amadeus in Rochester. That was probably one of my favorite clubs of all time.
Yeah,
it was massive. You know, that club was massive.
It popped.
I have so much memories of like some of my first shows there, and just all the under 18s and that. It was mad.
You know what? I don't think I ever actually went to see you live, but I do remember, because it's in that same time frame. So I remember finishing school, you know, like coming to my boy's house, we're getting changed and this is when Jersey Shore was still a thing as well. So like going to the club, you know that's how old it is. Yeah, we do the whole t-shirt time. It was a bit weird. I'll be honest. It was slightly weird. Cabs are here. T-shirt time. Like, all of that. Yeah, I thought I was Paulie D. Nothing like him. And I go to the club and I've seen N-Dubs and Skepta for £5. Right. Trying to explain seeing Skepta for £5 to someone who's 3-4 years younger than me,
who loves Skepta now and knows
they're like, you know, with all the T's and that and only really knows him because of ASAP Rocky and, you know, and doesn't know the OG Skepta and boy better know it's just kind of like a rumor and they don't get it. It's like, it's hard work. It is. And
it's hard to explain. Yeah. That was a time, man. I can't believe. So did they perform together? Did they perform alive?
No, or two separate occasions. And I've also seen gigs there for £5 as well. It was like, can you imagine that now? And it's, oh man.
But you've seen some of the icons in the country, the gigs, the Skeptas, the Dappies. To see them early on for £5, bro, that's sick, bro.
Yeah, and I still remember it was great. And it's funny that you said that Amadeus was like the best club that you've been in, or one of the best, because I'm pretty sure Wiley did a tweet saying Amadeus or Kent or something is one of the best places he's performed at. I guess It must be, man. It must. So what year was it when you were on tour?
Still 20, really, or just after Stay With Me done well, they wanted me to go on the road straight away. I would be on tour and still kind of making the album at the same time. The No Point in Wasting Tears album, in studios up in Newcastle, recording while we were on tour, and then I'll play some of them while I'm on tour just to see what the audience is feeling and things like that, man.
In terms of like year wise, was that like 2006, 7, 8?
No, that would have been 2008, I think. Yeah,
because you were nominated for the Mobos in 2008. And in 2009, nominated again.
Everything happened at once. Science.
Oh, okay.
Hit record, tour, Mobos, like all in 1 year, which is mad. Yeah, that was 2008.
And I thought my 20th was a good time, but yeah, I'll sit back down. I'll just go. Sit down.
No, but even the Mobos for me was like a highlight of my career, man. You know, I grew up watching the Mobo Awards and was fascinated with it for years, bro. So to be there on that stage performing and to be nominated for Best Newcomer, you know, even though I didn't win it, Chip took that one, you know what I'm saying? But I was so grateful, man, just to be there, bro.
And are you're still good friends with Chip now, and you're still friends with some of the bigger figureheads of the game, and you're still
we still talk. I spoke to Chip not long ago, and we actually went on Instagram Live not long ago as well, just done a little catch up for the people. Everyone was happy about that, so hopefully we'll work together again soon, man. But yeah, I'm still in talks with most people. Like when I see them out and about, we still talk and things like that.
And I think obviously, like, you know, music as a whole has developed, and Chip as a character has developed massively. But
100.
I mean, this is selfish of me, but I feel like we need that OG energy, man. I think if there's any way we can bring that back, a tiny dancer round 2, or, you know, something for the OG fans, for the ones that remember. I think that
would go mad. I think that would be mad, you know, for the nostalgia. I think that could do well. I'll try to sort it out, bro. I'll see what I can do, innit? That's just
I would, if that happens, I want credit. I want to be first on press. But that's
trust me, bro. I'll let you know.
That's wicked, man. And like, you know, I've never spoke to Chip, but similar to you, I've just admired him as an artist growing up. But he's always seems like such a sound, down to earth guy. And yeah, man, I think his journey is incredible as well, because he's similar to you. You know, he was even slated for being a pop star, and then he had, you know, various beefs with you know, various artists, and that was always something that kept brought up. But you and him never.
We spoke about that recently as well. He said that to me on the phone. He was like, "Ironik, is mad that people try to slate me and us, like, for doing the pop thing or going to a commercial." And then he was like, you know, people weren't really checking for him for about 2 years until he came back, you know, on this grimy dissing people back thing, and then people were like, oh yeah, we forgot you can actually spit bars. But you know, Chip for me is one of the greatest that we've ever seen, bro, as a spitter, you know, as a grime MC, and the way he's able to stay relevant for so long and jump into different pockets of like grime and R&B, hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Anything he wants to do, he can do, bro. For me, he's one of the greatest we've seen. And just to see how, I remember I've been in the studio with him since he was like 15, to see how great he's got to now as a man, like, oh, bro, it's sick, man. He's one of my favorites, bro. I tell him that as well, so yeah. Yeah,
well, tell him Doing Bits TV, just need an interview. But yeah, no, 100%, man. He's very versatile, always relevant, and bar for bar. No,
it's not many.
It's not that time. It's not that time yet. We just, but yeah, man. But anyways, like, back to you. I mean, there is something I wanted to touch on, and I know that it was a darker point of your career, but obviously I don't really know the years. But you, as someone that's never really been musically associated with the darkness that kind of surrounds grime and maybe that scene, obviously there was a stabbing in your life. So
yeah,
how do you even deal with that, and like what even happened? And, you know, I mean, you're a strong character, you've gone through it, and I know it's something you've talked about in the past.
Yeah, I've spoken about it. I feel like I can't really talk about it too much anymore because I have spoken about it in the past. But you're right, because I do mention the highs, and we mention how things have gone so well. But you know, I think it is important to mention when things aren't so well, just for the younger generation to get it, that things happen. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go through these crossroads where something comes along and you think, well, how did this happen? And that was one of them, man. Like this was in the peak of my career, bro. This was, you know, after my first album, 2010, I think. We just put out Falling in Love as well with Jessica Lowndes, so things were thriving. I was ready to put out my second album.
11 million views on YouTube, by the way. Just
just say we put that out and we was ready. You know, I started working on my second album. Things were going good, and I was kind of doing a mini tour at that time. And I was actually coming back from a show in Southend. I was doing a show in Southend. I remember it vividly. But you know, I feel like it was a dark time in my life anyway. I feel like my energy was a bit off. Maybe I was a bit run down from, you know, non-stop touring. I'm saying this is 2010. From 2008, I was non-stop on the road, doing shows, festivals, everything. So I feel like I was a bit drained at that time, man. And, you know, I was tired. I remember being in the club at the night and just being knackered and just thinking, I just want to go home to bed. So my energy was a bit off anyway. I don't know if that is the law of attraction, you know, coming to me saying your negative energy is going to come to you. And then, you know, I came outside my mum's house, pulled outside my mum's house, and people were waiting for me outside there, you know, with balaclavas and ready to take my jewelry, man. And obviously I was known for a lot of the jewelry and a lot of the flashy life superstar image at that time. So I think, you know, that was a target for them. And yeah, unfortunately I ended up getting stabbed, man. And it was a situation that could have took my life, but thankfully I'm here, and thankfully I've got through that dark time, because what happened after that was I was just put back 100 steps, bro, because I couldn't make music after that, because I felt like, why am I making music if this is what it brings to me? You know, I only got into it because, like I said at the start, I got into it from the love of music because my mum loved it, and DJing in my bedroom, like that was it. I didn't expect people to target me and paparazzi outside the house, and that can get on top sometimes. So I had to take a few years out just to deal with life, if I'm honest. And a lot of people say, oh, why did you take that break? You know, you went quiet, you fell off. But I think times like that are important. I moved out of London and took some time out just to kind of deal with life and be a normal human being. And I moved out of London, and it was nice for me to walk down the street and people not recognize me, really, bro, if I'm honest, where I lived at that time. Because at that time, I couldn't even go shopping because people would go mad. Like, it was mad. So I needed that, man. And thankfully, I got through it. The stabbing wasn't too bad. Recovered well. But just, I was in a negative place for years after that, you know, until I met my fiance in like 2014. So like that 4-year gap, I had a few projects here and there. I was still doing shows, but I wasn't really in the zone to like really come back. So 2014, I met my fiance, and she kind of turned it all around for me, man. When I met her, she kind of could tell that I was in a dark place from the stabbing, didn't trust anyone, didn't know why I wanted to do music, didn't have that passion and drive like I had at the start. So she kind of just said to me, listen, do you know who you are? Like, when you walk into a room, keep your head high. You've done so much. There's no reason for you to stop now. Keep going. And yeah, man, you need that queen to kind of, you know, help you become a king again. And she did that. So from there, that was the start of me coming back, man. And then re-signed to another independent label in 2016. I put out my second album, Truth Be Told, in 2017. And I was up from there. I would walk into a room, head high, confident.
Head high, knowing who you are, knowing what you've done and what you've achieved. And like, it's incredible, man. I mean, obviously that's something that I personally can't relate to, but you don't necessarily have to relate to it to understand that the trauma that comes from that is you know, insane. And I feel like it's crazy.
And even like now, like talking about it, I think it helps. It does help, like talking about situations like that, like we spoke about earlier, for men to just be able to talk about trauma and past situations like that. It does help. Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man. And the acceptance of it, not necessarily physically being stabbed, but I mean the acceptance of men being able to talk about how they feel and what they've been through is great. I mean, you talk about something, you get it off your chest, and then you've kind of relieved yourself of that.
Yeah, so you feel relieved.
So we're feeling good. We're feeling good.
Do you know what it was though for me as well? It was like, bro, if you know me, I'm just a music guy, innit? I just love music. and I'm just a genuine chilled guy. Like, so for a lot of people at that time, I remember, you know, Calvin Harris calling me, Tiny Temper calling me when I was in hospital. Like, bro, like, how did this happen to you? You're just a normal guy. So like, you know, you say you can't relate to it, but I wasn't even from that kind of place anyway. I didn't give off that type of energy. So for me, it was such a shock, bro. I couldn't relate to it either. But you know, you just got to be careful out there and make sure you just move correctly. So
definitely, it must have been such an alien thing to happen to you, because like you said, you're not, I mean, even in the time that we've been speaking, you don't come across like that guy, and your music definitely doesn't mirror that energy. So it doesn't really make sense why. But, you know, I mean, like you said, things happen for a reason, and
100%,
maybe there was a reason it happens, and you went through it because in 2014 you met your fiance, and your whole life and your whole mentality turned around. So like, it's good. I feel like you're someone that if the energy is there, it's like it's all or nothing, right? So when you had your year at 20, you know, you got the deals, you went on to 30, you had all of this crazy stuff, and that was all in that one time period. And then you had the dark times, and then that was all very full on and intense. But then the 14 turn around, and now you're all good again. So it's good, man. It is good. And you're right. I mean, obviously I don't know your fiance, but she's right. I think you've really got to comprehend of what you did for people like me who grew up and listened to your tunes, because it was man, you taught me indirectly how to get girls. So you know, I've done,
bro. I'll send you the invoice in it. I'll send you the invoice.
yeah. Doing bits at ican'tpayit.com. But
no, you're right, bro. And you know, when people tell me things that I really appreciate, you know, people don't know how much it means when you tell someone, you know, how well they've done, or you know, your appreciation. And I try to do that as much as I can now as well. I give people their flowers when I can. When I see a certain artist, I make sure to big them up, because it means a lot to people, man. Trust me. Like I say, we talk about all the high stuff, you know, performing for the Queen, performing at Mobos, but certain things like I didn't do was like buy my first house straight away when I could have, you know. So owning a house when I had so much money given to me on the plate, I should have. That was the first thing I should have done. Or buy my mum a house, you know, things like that. I'm still on my list of things to do. You know what I'm saying? Make 100 million. That's still on my list of things to do. You know, sell out a full range of sunglasses is on my list of things to do. And like you said at the start, like I'm still trying to figure out things that I want to do next. Become a big A&R at a record company one day and have my own big office. That's still a thing I want to do. So these are all my goals, bro. Still.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. And it's like the whole manifestation and you know, speaking it into existence, and then it will happen. And mentality is so important. It's so important, and it is. Yeah, man. And like, it's just on like a human level, it's nice to speak to someone that shares that same interest. So
I think that's a big part of success. If I'm honest, that's a major part of success, manifestation, man. And I'll even go as far as saying, I remember like when before I came out, I remember watching music videos or just videos on YouTube of like Chris Brown and like Bow Wow, and they would go outside and girls would go crazy screaming at them. And I would say, like, I want that one day. That's what I want to myself in my head, watching that. Like, I want to be that guy that the girls go screaming crazy for. And bro, a year later, 2 years later, that happened.
Exactly. Well, now I've taken a little bit of that energy. If I don't open my front door and there's no females, we're gonna have to redo it, because I need to, you know, we need that energy. Yeah. The people look at you and do they view you as the OG? Do they understand that?
About 3 years ago, I didn't really get the OG. Only recently, it's like, oh, OG or legend. Like when I met Stormzy or Young, and they're like, oh, bro, if you don't know, if it weren't for you, like I wouldn't even be doing music. You're the OG. But it's weird because I still feel young, and I'm still
I was gonna. It's not like you're an OAP. You're not old. Like you're still kicking, but. I get what they're saying, because music's quick though, isn't it? You know, like 5 years in the music game is like 20 years in real life, you know, so.
Exactly, yeah. And I've been around in some people's lives since, like you said, when you was 13, bro, and I'm still talking to you. So you're probably thinking, bro, you've been around so long. It's like in America, they got Chris Brown, and he's only just turning 30, bro. I feel like he's been around my life since I was a kid.
I don't think I don't remember him ever. Like, I think as soon as as I was born, and I can remember, Chris Brown has been a relevant name in music. Like,
yeah.
And
he's still not 30, which is mad. So you got the young OGs. You got the young OGs now, innit? The young OGs.
He's like he's like Benjamin Button. He's just aging the other way. But that's crazy, man. But but in a way though, it's good because the respect is massive, man. And 100%. It is. What would you say the proudest moment of your career has been?
Probably for me, I would say my proudest moment was probably performing for the Queen at Buckingham Palace, because I got to bring my mum and she got to meet like the royal family, and like it was just like a moment what, like, I don't know, it's like something that you'd never think you could bring your mum to do or to watch you do. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, like, it's cool bringing my mum to the MOBO Awards and seeing me up for an award and stuff, but like to meet the royal family and just stuff like that was crazy. Yeah, my mum was proud. I think from that moment I could see she was like, "Wow, like you really did the inevitable here."
What are your opinions on drill?
I like it, bro. It's different, but it reminds me of like grime, early grime.
Yeah,
you know I'm saying the same essence. It comes from a street formula, and it comes organic, like it's organic, isn't it? It's straight them not telling their stories from the street. So I gotta respect it. Some of the songs ain't for me musically, but then some of them I'll play when I'm DJing out and people are going crazy for them, bro. So yeah, I respect it.
I agree. Yeah, man, I agree. It's definitely like you say, some of the songs are definitely more of an acquired taste, but it is now the language of the youth. You know, drill is how people communicate these days, and it is the music. But you know, there's negative connotations with it, but I feel like music, to an extent, there's always negative connotations. I mean, going back to like the punk era, you know, that was a very negative connotational kind of music, but it doesn't necessarily mean that violence and everything else has to stem from it. It's just some people take that as literal and they don't see it as music. And
facts. I think every genre's had that. Early hip hop, early grime, like you said, punk, rock and roll. I think they're all gonna have that. But I feel like the kids are giving their reality on their life. So you can't complain when they're doing that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to tell your story. Like I said from the start, me making my music was my story. That was how I was raised as a person. Now I was telling my reality. Other people will tell their reality. They're coming from the streets. They're seeing different things. You know what I'm saying? And as long as you're being real to yourself, I think that's all that matters.
Well, Ironik, it has been an absolute pleasure, man. And honestly, I'm still absolutely gassed that you've even come on my little show. But you know, man, it's
come on, bro. It's all love, man. I want to see you get to the top, bro. It was a good interview as well. My man, yeah, man. And hopefully we'll do a part 2 in a few months if you're up for it, and we can, man, because I'm excited to see the YouTube thing, and I know those goals you've got written on the wall. You don't want to show me, but I know that they're big plans, and you don't want to give away the secret. But I got big man. Plans, bro. I got big plans.
2022, you're taking over the world, man. And
bro.
People, you never know. Tiny Dancer, Chip and Ironik.
Hey,
may happen. You never know. You heard it here first. DJ Ironik, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. All the best.
Love, bro. Thank you.
Love, man.
Keep doing bits.
Spent my P's on gums and trainers, disco ravers, bad behaviors, Sunday mornings, what a nightmare. Yeah, I'm active, girl, I still care. Yeah, you're boogieing.